The wind carried the scent of earth and sweat through the golden wheat fields, where an old man in tattered clothes worked silently under the blazing sun. His hands were rough, his back bent, but his spirit unbroken. "Look at him," the townspeople whispered as they drove past in shiny cars. "Still wearing those same muddy boots, still chasing dreams that died years ago." They laughed. But they didn't know what was coming. Because sometimes, the quietest man in the room, the one everyone mocks, is the one writing a story that will leave the whole town speechless. That man was Arif. For 30 years, Arif had farmed the same small patch of land his father left him. The land was his pride, his heartbreak, and his whole life. Every morning before dawn, he'd feed the cows, check the irrigation, and whisper a prayer to the soil. His neighbors pitied him. His clothes were worn thin, his shoes patched up with tape. But he never complained. While others spent their money on appearances, new cars, gold watches, and flashy phones, Arif saved every rupee he could. He was mocked for it constantly. "Arif, when will you buy something decent to wear?" Left him wrong, the owner of the local car dealership. "You look like you crawled out of the last century." His friends joined in, their laughter echoing across the market. Arif just smiled, tipping his dusty cap. "These clothes do the job," he said softly. "It's not what I wear that feeds my family, it's what I do." But behind that calm smile, Arif carried a storm. He remembered every insult, every sneer, every time someone looked down on him as if poverty defined his worth. What no one knew was that Arif had been working on something bigger than anyone imagined. Every harvest, he sold his produce at the market and tucked away a portion of his earnings. He didn't drink, didn't gamble, didn't waste. He learned about trading crops, then small investments, and eventually about real estate. Slowly, quietly, he built a future out of nothing. Then came the drought. For 2 years, the rains failed. Many farmers went bankrupt, selling their land to developers or leaving town altogether. Arif refused to give up. He installed an old water pump, repaired it himself, and grew smaller but stronger crops, vegetables that didn't need much water. He worked day and night, hands blistered, clothes soaked in sweat. When everyone else saw ruin, he saw opportunity. His produce was the only fresh supply in the region. Prices soared. The same man who mocked him came to his door asking for help. "Arif bhai, can we buy some of your harvest? We'll pay double." Arif looked at them kindly. "You don't need to pay double," he said. "Just pay fair." That year, Arif earned more than he ever had before. But he stayed quiet, never flaunting it. He kept working, saving, and planning. Until one morning, when the town woke to shocking news, the car dealership Imran's pride and joy was for sale. Imran had made reckless investments and couldn't recover from his debts. He needed to sell fast. People whispered that only a rich businessman from another city could afford it. But when the deal closed, the papers revealed the buyer's name. Arif Hussein. The farmer. The entire town went silent. On the day of the handover, Arif arrived at the dealership not in his old tractor, but in a modest white car. His clothes were still simple, though freshly washed, and his old boots still carried traces of earth. The employees lined up, unsure how to react. Imran stood stiffly, face pale, eyes darting between Arif and the contract. "I never imagined," Imran began, voice shaking. Arif smiled softly. "Neither did I, my friend. But life has its seasons. You mocked the farmer for his old clothes, but those same hands that tilled the soil built what you see now." There was no anger in his tone, only calm dignity. He signed the papers and extended his hand. Imran hesitated, then took it, his pride crumbling. The crowd outside murmured, realizing what true success looked like, not in wealth or luxury, but in patience, resilience, and quiet strength. That evening, Arif walked through the dealership, touching the polished cars, remembering how he once stared at them from afar. He didn't feel revenge, he felt peace. The journey had never been about proving others wrong. It was about proving himself right. He gathered the employees and said, "This place will not just sell cars. It will build people. Anyone willing to work hard, regardless of how they look or where they come from, will find a place here." The same men who once laughed at him now lowered their heads in respect. Arif had not only bought a dealership, he had bought back his dignity, his honor, and his story. Years later, the dealership grew into a chain across the region, known for fairness and compassion. People came from miles away, not just to buy cars, but to meet the man who rose from dust and humiliation to success and did it without bitterness. And whenever a young worker complained about not having the latest clothes or phone, Arif would smile and say, "I once had nothing but a dream and a field full of hope. The world mocked me then, but remember, the earth always rewards those who respect it." He would step outside, breathe in the scent of soil and oil, and look toward the horizon, where his fields once stood golden as ever, because no matter how far life took him, the humble farmer inside him never left. And that was the secret the world never understood. You can mock a man's clothes, but you can never mock his destiny.